Welcome back to another edition of Everything Football 62. I'm your host, Jonathan Big Tex Johnson. I'm going to jump right into this. It's a hot topic, and I've already told you guys it was a hot topic, and it was going to be a hot topic. This is what we're speaking about, and I'll just say this right now because you already know where I'm pretty much about to go with this. This particular quarterback, 3,698 yards, 24 touchdowns, nine picks, completion ratio 70.6. Leads the league in completions, 370 completions, averaging 28.5 a game. Yep, you guessed it, the great Kirk Cousins. My favorite voodoo pin doll, so to speak. Only because I know what I was saying was right. It's being echoed throughout from Shannon Sharp to Greg Jennings. You go look at my past broadcast. I already told you that. Kirk Cousins, who 3 years, however many years, 3-4 years, whatever the contract was, for over $84 million. He's getting that money guaranteed, $28-29 million a year. Okay? That's a lot of money for somebody that's giving you a 6-6-1 record right about now. Okay? That's what he's giving you. Kirk Cousins is 4-24 versus teams that are over 500. He is 0-5 versus teams with a winning record this year. You're talking about a person who is 32-36-1. That is a losing record. Kirk Cousins has banked just about almost close to $100 million in the past 3 years, right? Yet the stats are not telling it's not telling it. This is what I'm speaking about, and this verified what I was saying today, what I was talking today, and looking at FS1, or if you was looking at ESPN and all with Greg Jennings and different guys on the panels, Shannon Sharp and all them different guys. Greg Jennings said something profound. He said, "You're paying the position and not the player," and what he basically does. You're paying the position. Just because it's position of quarterback, I'm going to pay that position, I'm going to throw some money at it, and all my problems are solved. That's not how it works. And that is what these owners call themselves doing, and they're getting shot in the foot. It's the reason why Washington kept giving them those 1 year deals and giving them 1 year deals and sitting up there and franchising them. Because they didn't trust him. Because when he gets in that zone, when the game is on the line, he doesn't perform. He never has, and he never will. That's not his game. He is a backup. I would say he's a starting quarterback. I will give him that, but he is not a transcendent quarterback based upon the amount of money that he's getting, meaning that making everybody else around him better, or he can close the door on a team. He doesn't do that. He basically ends up choking. You saw the play with Thielen in that end zone. Guy was wide open. The cornerback slipped down. He still went to Rudolph. Messed up throw. The ball wasn't delivered correctly, and it was incomplete. And I don't even think they didn't even score. And that was part of the first quarter. They could have either tied or went ahead by 7-6 at that time. Crucial. You know, you got Diggs there. You got Thielen, who's probably considered the best. These guys catching 100. Both of them guys were probably on a quest of basically catching 200 balls, and then your tight ends catching all those balls. You have a running back that's not used. One of the main reasons why DeFilippo was fired by Zimmerman, because from what they were saying, he wanted that Zim wanted to run the ball more, and DeFilippo kept sitting up there doing a bunch of throwing the ball and whatnot, and all this kind of stuff. Again, because that just shows where he has to come up to that, because he's getting paid all this money, so we got to make sure we throw him. No, it's about winning games. It's not about padding this guy's stats, and that's what it's come down to in this day and time. These guys are padding stats, and Kirk Cousins is that. And he's gotten all this money, and these owners, like I said, just make you think, do these guys know anything about football? Just because you got a bunch of money doesn't mean you know too much anything about football. Like I say, I go back to the Detroit Lions and what they've done in the past 54 years. I've already documented that. But this just goes to show you that people like Shannon Sharp, Greg Jennings, Tony Gonzalez, and a lot of them guys sit up there echo the same thing that I've been saying now for close to a year now. I told you that. I live in the Northern Virginia area. I've watched her. I'm not no casual football fan. I study this stuff? I know what I'm talking about. He can't close the door. It's not in him. But you paid all this money. And like I said, I'm glad that Minnesota is losing. And I already told you that because I did a show on that of how they did Teddy Bridgewater. That's Teddy Bridgewater's team. You have a quarterback that goes 17-11. He gets 17-11. A stupid kicker missed the ball, which would have put them in that of the divisional game. This is just his second year. He gets hurt and that 2016 misses the whole year and stuff like that. Then 2017 relegated to sit back. They bring in Bradford and they bring in Keenum and he's back there and stuff like that. They end up releasing all three of them. He gave you a 17-11 record with that team. That was his team right there. And what did they do? They cut him and they sent him to New York, and then New York got him sitting up there playing behind Breeze. Technically, he's not even really playing behind Breeze because actually that number 7 Hill, whatever his name is, that so-called quarterback or whatever, that weapon or whatever he calls himself doing, who probably might be the heir apparent to Drew Brees. Y'all keep an eye on that. Remember, y'all heard that here first because it's supposed to have been said last year. They said, no, this kid can really play quarterback. I'm like, okay, but you got Bridgewater. That's Bridgewater. That's why I hope Minnesota does absolutely nothing. I hope they lose the rest of their games and don't go anywhere because that was his team. You could have actually kept Keenan there and got better results. You could have gave Bridgewater a chance after going 17-11 and whatnot. But I've already spoke about that. But this is what I'm talking about, all of that money. Look at the final four of the quarterback of the quarterbacks last year. The final four in the 2017 season or 2018 playoff season. NFC, you had Casey Keenum, Nick Foles in the finals, in the semifinals, so to speak. I'll just say in the NFC championship game. AFC, Tom Brady, and you had Blake Bortles, right? Those guys, I mean, because at this particular time, Brady's already made his money. Brady got paid back in 2010, 2016 or something like that. He got paid a ton of money. Brady doesn't need any money. He's done. He wants to win championships. It's about his legacy for him and winning and going down as the best of all time. And that's what he's doing, right? That's what he's done. So money doesn't mean, and I spoke about that as well a few months ago, a while back, almost a year ago. I spoke about that. These quarterbacks weren't even making no money, basically the bare minimum or whatever. They wasn't making that big of money. You go and get this guy on Bridgewater's team, and I'll keep saying that. And you shell out all this money, and this guy hasn't done anything but pad his stats. But it looks good. Like I said, Dan Marino's stats, Joe Pisarcik results, okay? You're not getting any results. You're getting a bunch of padded stats. He's a good starting quarterback, yeah, because he started. He's played some games and stuff like that. He's nothing transcending. He's not a winner. It's just that simple. If you're a quarterback making that kind of money, you have to make plays. You have to be a winner. It's about winning, and he is not that. I've lived in this area for years, and I've already told y'all. I watch football. I've been watching football for over 40 some odd years. I know the game. I'm watching the game. He can't close the door. He's not that guy. And the Minnesota is starting to feel that now. Now the pressure, so anytime the pressure, he can play backup quarterback, and he can play when the game is up ahead, when they're 15, 20 points ahead. If they're like that, he's cruising right along. But if it gets tight, that's when he gets tight, it don't go right for him. Even in a Pro Bowl that he could have closed the door and he ended up throwing an interception. Even when he played against that Saints last year, could have been a big win for him. He started stumbling around and just mistakes started happening. But this is what they got to live with now. Like I said, I hope they drop the last of all their games and just show what I'm talking about. You can't just throw money at that problem and think it's going to go away. And that's what these owners are sitting up there doing. Like Greg Jennings said, he said it best. You're paying the position and not the player. Just because he plays that position, I'm going to put money over there. It doesn't work that way. Minnesota is almost dead last in rushing attempts. You got Dalvin Cook who could run that ball. He was doing good against Green Bay and even also that against New England till they fell behind, and they were in that game. They've been in all those games. It's up to the quarterback to start making these particular type of plays. Now, if these guys sit up there and say the coordinator wasn't doing this, I got all that. But it's like at the same time, you got to try to run that ball to do something. But he's not the answer. He's not the answer. We'll see what ends up happening. But this year is basically shot. It'll look good, but what did he really do? What did he really do except for put up some numbers? And then when the game is out of reach, and that's what's going on now, when the game is out of reach and I'm throwing balls to get up to try to make it look like something or trying to catch up, of course then it looks like that. Then look at all the turnovers this guy has. Fumbling the ball. This is what I'm talking about. And you're going to tell me he's worth $84 million? No way. No way. But he got over. And from a man that has a family, hey, man, I applaud him. I applaud him. As a fan and somebody that knows the game and watches the game and studies the game real closely, I'm like, I don't see it. And the Skins didn't see it, and that's why they let him go. They were fine with giving him almost 40 some odd $million in those between 16 and 17. It wasn't they fit fine or whatever. I mean, that just shows you how much money these owners have. But I'm like, the Jaguars gave Blake Bortles that money. Gave not that kind of money, but they gave him some big money. Big mistake. Should have never gave him any money. Never. Didn't deserve it. He didn't do anything. He went 10-6. He did good. Okay, show me that again, and then after we come back with 11-5 or 12-4 or a division title, we'll talk. It's a fluke, and we saw what happened. He's benched. He's not even playing now. He's benched. So we're going to see what happens with Kirk Cousins. But I told you guys. I told you, and like I said, man, it's like can't do that, man. It's just like you got what I'm saying. You have that money that you use, then you take a quarterback. And I said, even that guy Whitlock sit up and said something. I said, build around until you get the kind of quarterback you want. Run the ball, build around that, do that until that quarterback ends up developing until you find that particular quarterback. Get you some journeyman or whatever that's going to play within that system. That's how you do it. But these guys sitting up there, in this microwave era, everything, I want everything fast, I want everything now. Nobody builds nothing. I'm going to just throw some money at it and hope that I'll sit up there and win. It's a big gamble, and right now Minnesota is losing that particular gamble. Like I said before, and I'll be back, like I said before, there is no GOAT or no greatest of all time as long as time is still going on. I'll be back in a minute.